Well, hello everyone. Today we're going to continue to look at this idea. Oh boy. Well, maybe. Whoa. Oh boy. Okay, let's try that again. We're going to take a look at our loops and groups through this idea, loops and groups, through this idea of division. If you remember a couple things, one, division. That's our idea of making equal groups. Two, we can use the inverse. So if we know how to multiply, we know how to divide. And then three, we can use this like loops and groups system to help us, just in case like, oh, actually, I don't know that multiplication fact. Therefore, I can just think about how do I take my whole and break it into smaller groups and how much goes into each one of those groups. Now, yesterday, well, might have been yesterday or the last video. I don't know. I don't know what the time is. We're all on a weird, crazy time warp. Who knows? Maybe it was 10 minutes ago you watched this video. Maybe you haven't watched this video yet. But last time, if you remember, I was working on this concept of using loops and groups through a division. And I'm just going to make up another one. I actually have to admit, I don't remember what the problem was. But let's just say, man, the pen. Let's just say we had 20 divided by 4 and we needed to figure that out. And we were like, oh, well, that means that something times 4 equals 20, but we actually didn't know that. So we're like, cool, we're going to do this group. We're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4 groups, right? Because that's the groups we're breaking it into. And then we're going to distribute the 20 out equally to each one of those groups, right? We're going to do it one at a time. Now, this is what I'm talking about because yesterday, or I'll keep referring to it as yesterday, but who knows what, last video, as we distributed by ones, we noticed there was a problem. Like I had this problem where I was like 1, 2, and notice it's one at a time, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? That was like the mistake I made right there. Notice that I put 2 in a row there instead of going one at a time. And then I got all confused. I had to go back. I had to like reset the whole thing. And it was just kind of a predicament, right? Like, oh, well, this strategy is cool. I like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 divided by 4 equals 5. So this is a great strategy, but it's not always efficient because as you can see, we can make some mistakes. So today I want to kind of talk about like how it is that when we distribute, we can actually use skills we already know in terms of like skip counting to help us, right? Because technically in this example, I was skip counting by ones. I was counting one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But we could also think about, well, what do we actually already know about numbers and what happens when those numbers get bigger anyway? Like what if someone's like, oh, I have 72 and I want you to divide that into 9, what are we going to get? And I would say, oh, well, okay, cool. Like, I don't know if I multiply, I don't know 9 times what equals 72. Therefore, I'm going to make 9 groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to distribute, right, or divide these 72 items. Again, you could look at it as 72 people want to play soccer. You're going to have 9 teams. How many people go on each team? I'm going to distribute these. Now, what we were doing is counting by ones, but I'm at 72. So again, we could already imagine that's going to take a while, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You get the point. So counting by ones could actually be something that might take a little too long, and we could also make mistakes, right? We could be distracted. So I always say, okay, cool. Well, what we know, right, is that counting by ones helps, but we know other ways to count. Like I know how to count by 2s. I know how to count by 5s. And these are numbers that I always find to be very friendly, right? These are compatible. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's a lot quicker than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's quicker. It's more efficient. Also, counting by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20. Whoa, that was even quicker to get to 20, right? So I say, let's use this to our advantage. Instead of needing to count by ones, I'm actually going to skip count by numbers I feel more comfortable with. Now, it is a juggling act. So you will see that one thing that's a favor for us that's helpful could actually kind of still get confusing later. So you have to stay on top of what you're counting by. So I'm going to start with fives. And instead of doing the dots, I'm just going to do the number 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, right? Okay, I'm not at 72 yet. Now the thing is though, I have to start thinking if I go by another groups of 5, I might get more, right? So let's see. I'm going to try that. 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, right? 80. Notice I don't have equal groups and I'm past 72. So counting by fives the second time around didn't help, but it did help to get me quickly to 45. I'm like almost halfway there. So now I could just go back to counting by ones if I want. So that was 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Okay, now I'm at an even number. That's why I did that, because I could count by twos. Let's see, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72. So see what I did? I did this combination. I counted by groups of 5, then I counted by ones, and then I counted by groups of 2s, and it was just more efficient. It helped me get there. And if we look, and I did those in color so you could see they are all got the exact same amount. They got a group of 5, they got a group of 1, and they got a group of 2. So if I was to add those together, that's 7 plus 1 is 8. So that means that there's 8 in each group, which gives me my answer. 72 divided by 9 is equal to 8. So this is where skip counting with other numbers, and I would say compatible numbers that you know, is very friendly. Like, don't skip count by like 7s if you don't know how to skip count by 7. That wouldn't make any sense, right? It'd be really confusing. So use numbers that are friendly. Counting by ones is friendly. Counting by 2s is friendlier. Counting by 5s is really friendly because it's quicker, it's in larger groups, and it's easier to keep track of, right? So those are what we kind of call compatible. And as numbers get even bigger, you might even want to start considering, can we count by 10s, right? I don't think that would have worked for this one. It would have been too much. So let's play around. Let's do another one. And let's take another fact. Let's say I have 56 and I'm going to divide it by 4. Okay, so already this seems like a big one. Let's see. Is that something yeah, okay, I don't know. Let's see what we get. So I don't know that. Sorry, that's why I was thinking in my head. I was like, well, okay, well, 4 times what equals 56? And I actually don't know. So let's go into breaking it down. We need 4 groups. So 1, oh, I'm gonna make that bigger. Since I know it's only 4 groups and I have like 56, I'm probably gonna have to put a lot in here, okay? And then I think about, and I write this, like, don't be afraid to write this on your papers too. Like, think 2s, 5s, maybe even 10s, right? To help yourself skip count. So I'm gonna start off with 5s because that works for me. So I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20. So I think I can do another group of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Let's see, 45, 50, 50. Yeah, so that wouldn't work to do a third round. So I did that. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Let's count by 2s now. So 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56. Ah, there it is. So again, now I did 2 groups of 5 and I did 2 groups of 2. It's just a quicker way of to help me count. So now I just need to make sure I add up my total to see what I got. And again, we're skip counting, so I can do this quickly. 5, 10, 12, 14. 5, 10, 12, 14. Yep, 5, 10, 12, 14. So they are all equal groups, 5, 10, 12, 14. So that works. 56 divided by 4 gets me 14, or 56 divided by 4 equals 14. Again, remember this other symbol we will see, right? So that is just something to keep in mind. Think about how, when we do our loops and groups, that you can skip count into larger groups to help you manage the work, right? A little different than counting by ones, but more efficient. As always, I encourage you to use the system that makes the most sense to you. So if you still want to count by ones, by all means, go for it. But if you start to realize, oh, you know what? I know that I could do this in larger groups and it would go quicker. I encourage you to try this strategy out as well. So keep up the good work. Appreciate what you're doing, and we will see you soon.